Hello, hello, ladies. Tonight we are talking about working through our fears. Good evening. My name is Erin Thompson, and I help women invite money into their life. I believe that we are not stuck in our financial position. I think that we can change our thoughts and our actions, behaviors, habits, those kind of things. And we can absolutely change the course of our future and what ends up happening for the rest of our lives. So, that is what we talk about here. That's what we are all about. It is a group full of women who are tired of the paycheck to paycheck life cycle, and we want more for ourselves and for our families. And so we are being brave, and we have come into this group to find community and sisterhood and to have each other's backs and to celebrate each other as we do the scary things in life, which we are going to talk about tonight. Let's go ahead and get into it. I've rambled enough. This has been coming up a lot for me lately, so I wanted to dedicate some time to it in here. In my survey that I created to help me get a feel for like what kinds of content you ladies are looking for and where you are in your journey, one of the questions was, which of these phrases do you catch yourself saying to yourself? And it's a lot of both positive and negative phrases and things that people typically say to themselves in their head, right? And if it wasn't in the list, then they could write it in. So there was lots of responses. I think there was like 20 some, maybe more than that. There was a lot of responses, and then people wrote some in as well. And one of the ones that somebody wrote in, I can't see who it is, but she wrote, "Fat women can't be successful." And ladies, that like hit me in my core like a ton of bricks, because I feel that. I feel that so freaking hard. It got me thinking about all of the ways that we hold ourselves back, myself included. And probably most of that is due to fear. I will tell you, there is a member of this group who we had a lengthy back and forth when she first joined. She had some questions. She had a blog she was trying to get up. I'm not going to mention your name, dearie, so don't worry. But she said at that time, because I was like, oh yeah, and you can do this and this and this with it. And she's like, well, I would maybe be okay doing YouTube. I don't know. I don't want to be on camera. I have a face for radio. She said something to that effect. And we weren't on a call. This was just chatting back and forth in the DMs, right? So I was like, oh, well, I get that. I'm like really self-conscious about being on the camera too. Totally get it. Well, recently we have had a chance to finally get on calls with each other, and I have to tell you that she is absolutely beautiful. And I'm like, what? This woman is like nervous to get on camera, but she is beautiful. And there's another girl in the group. She is killing it. She is like, her group is blowing up and everything's going really well for her. And she has a YouTube channel, so I'm super proud of her for that. She does like crafty things with her hands. So her hands are always in the video, but normally there's not her voice. It's just like music that's dubbed in. And so she wants to start, or she thinks that she needs to start like adding her voice, but she doesn't want to because she's nervous that she doesn't sound good, and like she doesn't really want to be on camera. And I'm here to tell you, friends, she's gorgeous. Like absolutely beautiful. And it floors me to my core. So I wanted to take you back to the beginning and pull back the curtain a little bit to talk about getting over the fears that I had, because these women are more beautiful than me. And here I am like doing this on the internet for a bunch of strangers, right? So I will tell you, I don't think that I am very much to look at. I have a big nose, and I hate my red cheeks. I gotta tell you, this is a different camera I'm using this week, but like, normally the red cheeks, I feel like that's the first thing that I see on myself. That's like all I see. And I hate wearing makeup because I have like a sensory issue with goop on my face. So I can't cover up the red cheeks comfortably. And also whenever, like when I film training, like the courses that I do, I want to look like professional and legit, right? So I don't wear like full on makeup, but I'll like put on some concealer just on the red parts of my cheeks because I'm that self-conscious about it. And it just like goes straight for the wrinkles that are coming in as I'm getting older, and I just look like old and decrepit, and I'm like, this is not what I'm going for. I wanted to look better. That's why I put the makeup on. So, all of that to say, I don't love the way that I look, right? I look like my dad, which I love for sentimental reasons because I love my dad, right? But in terms of society's beauty standards, let's just say that even the bold glamour filter on TikTok could not make me attractive, okay? I just looked like a really ugly dude in drag, and I was like, I wanted to cry. I'm like, this stupid filter is making everybody look gorgeous, and they're like, this isn't even right, y'all. And I put the filter on me, and I just look like a dude in drag, and not even an attractive one. So, to be honest with you, to start a group like this and to have a mission like I do, the business coaches that I had at the time, they just really stressed that if I wanted to have it go anywhere, I would have to keep putting myself out there and just keep doing it. The more I did it, the easier it would get, and the more growth I would see if I just kept showing up, that this would eventually be something that could sustain my family. And I'll be honest with you, that's the ultimate goal, right? That's what I'm trying to do here. But my coaches in the beginning, they said, your videos are not going to be great, but that's okay. Like, they don't have to be, you can't compare yourself to someone else's, like, they've been doing YouTube videos for 5 years and it looks amazing and they really have their process dialed in. You on day one, it's not going to be you. And that's okay. If you look back to some of their videos from day one, theirs weren't that good either. You know what I mean? So it's okay. You have to start somewhere. And so many people are afraid of looking like newbies or amateurs that they don't ever even want to start because they won't look like the people that are at the finish line. But, well, finish line's relative, but you won't ever get there if you don't ever start, right? So my coaches told me, like, you're not going to be great on camera at first, and that's okay. I will tell you, they were right. The first live that I did was terrible. Like, the way that the camera was pointed at me, I'm like a larger chested woman, and so it just looked like all boobs in the video, and I was like, after the fact, like, great. But I was very, very sweaty. I said, just about every single sentence. I was very stuttery and rambly. And I was so nervous that I, like, skipped a whole section of what I wanted to say. And you can hear my kids in the background, because I was, like, filming over by the door, and so they're playing, of course, right on the other side of the door. And I was embarrassed, because I'm like, gosh, it makes me look so unprofessional, right? To me, it was a hot mess. But I didn't let it stop me, and I kept going. And if I look back with an objective eye now, you know, after all this time, it's not so bad. I was being really hard on myself, honestly. But my coaches were right. For about the first 6 months, every time that I would log into Facebook and do anything in this group, of course, my video comes up and starts, like, auto-playing, right? And I would hate seeing my big dumb face and hearing my super annoying voice. And I'll be honest with you, I was working on my mindset all the while and trying to like myself better and fall in love with myself more, flaws and all. So that I was going on that sort of personal journey. But also, I think it was just exposure therapy or immersion therapy, whatever they call it. Because I got over it, honestly, and I don't mind seeing myself now when I log into the group. It's just part of what I do, like, and my kids know, oh, there's mom, like, it's not that weird anymore, but at first it was very strange to see and hear myself, and it just felt funny, but, and, you know, I've gotten better over the years. When my coach said that I needed to tell people in my lives, like, who I was and what I was all about, I literally had to write down a script, like, word for word, what my mission is and what I'm trying to do here. All that stuff that I said at the beginning, like, that was written. I have notes up, like, right here. You can't see it, obviously, but I have notes right here in my eye shot. That's why I keep looking down, because there's certain things that I want to say and I don't want to miss them. But back in the beginning, I was like, like really reading them, but I didn't want it to look like I was reading them, but I didn't know what to say if I wasn't reading them. So I urge you to go back to some of my earlier trainings in the guide section, and you will see, like, I have come a long way. And now, like, as you can tell, I'm looking at the camera, I glance down at my notes, but then I get kind of rambly, and sometimes I worry that people are like, oh my God, shut up and get to the point, right? So I try not to be too rambly, but I do get a little bit rambly when I'm like, I'm more comfortable and I'm not reading right off the notes. So I wanted to tell you ladies that I totally and completely get it. If you are nervous for putting yourself out there, because I was too. As you just heard, all of these mental things that I had to get past. When I had a previous group where I was going to help parents of autistic children, like, kind of navigate that fresh punch to the face that an autistic diagnosis can be. And like, oh my gosh, so what does that mean now? And what, like, resources and all that kind of stuff. I wanted to help with that. And as I was going through that business coaching, they were like, well, okay, if you're going to go with that community, like, you got to go all in, because some of those people are really intense. And I was like, yeah, I could do it. Yeah. And then I did like 3 videos in that group that no one came to, because there was like 10 people in my group. And I took that to be a failure, right? No, nobody cares about what I'm doing because all of the 10 people didn't show up. Like, oh no, I'm a huge failure. But also I let the whole, like, I'm not a doctor. I only have experience with my children that have autism, right? So who am I? And I started getting really bad imposter syndrome, like super, super bad, to the point where I didn't even continue that group. I was just like, Looking back, I guess my expectations were way off going in. I thought, like, oh, when you're on the internet and you have a thing and then everybody just goes to it. But people are busy, right? Like, everyone has their own life. And this is not realistic. Like, there's 600 people in this group, and first of all, not all of you are getting notified that I'm even doing this, first of all. And second of all, you have other things that you're doing. And if you want to catch this, you will go to the group and check it out and catch it, kind of thing, right? Like, but it doesn't matter. This is besides the point. The point is that I let that imposter syndrome totally derail my efforts, and I was like, I don't know if I'm confident enough to speak on autism when I don't have this huge, I'm not like a medical professional who's seen all of these children, right, or like a therapist who works with all these children. I just have my few kids and like my experiences and my husband's experiences, and that's it. So I'm not qualified to speak on this topic, was what I thought to myself. So just putting that out there, I let it stop me in the past, right? But this time was different. Even though I don't have like a degree in finance, I do have a lot of life experience with pulling myself out of debt and investing and trading and all these things. So I feel like I can speak on it. I only have my experience again, but this time I'm not letting imposter syndrome hold me back. The difference this time in this venture is that I keep moving through it. Okay, I'm not letting it stop me. It might stall me for a little bit and make things take longer than they need to, but I'm not letting it stop me. Honestly, one of the thoughts that has kept me going the most is that who misses out if I'm not living my life's purpose? Like, I truly feel like I was put on this earth to help women with their finances. And so if I'm not doing this, because there's a bunch of like snake oil salesmen and terrible scammy people out there, and I legit care and want to help. So if I'm not doing this, who might get scammed? You know what I mean? Like, who is looking for help and needs help that might go somewhere else if I'm not doing this? So I feel this like social responsibility now that I've been doing this for a while. Now it's like strangers and people who need help. Like, that's why I keep showing up every week. Even though, you know, sometimes people don't come on and sometimes it seems like nobody cares, but that's okay. Like, I'm still putting this stuff out there because it does help somebody. I know that it does, and that's why I do it. Okay, so how do you work through these fears? I guess for starters, like you just have to want it bad enough. And that's what's different for me this time. Is I told you I already had a venture that I let all of those fears take me down. This time I'm not letting it happen. I want it bad enough this time. And I think feeling like you were put on this earth to do this thing really motivates me, at least, and I think could help motivate you, because no one can help people the way that you can with your style and your personality. You are the only you on this whole entire planet. You're the only one that can help people in the way that you can. And the people who are your tribe, they are going to love you for it. So you should lean into that. You should absolutely lean into that and love yourself and be you and show up as you. And it might take a little while. I'm not saying you're going to have, 100,000 people, followers, overnight. Clearly I've been doing this for a couple years and I'm not there either, right? But it will come. It will come when it's meant to come. Okay? And probably the biggest thing that I want to leave you with is it's going to be uncomfortable at first. But I promise you, the more you do it, the easier it's going to become. Before you know it, you will be a pro. Looking back and chuckling to yourself that you ever had like fears and doubts about getting on camera. But yeah, normally I'm just like, yeah, whatever, and it's live time and, turn on the camera and say the stuff. And it's like, it's just part of my routine now. It's part of my personality. I'm a person who does this thing and I just do it. Right? And you will be too if you just start doing it. Just start. You have to be not afraid to like start and be bad at something. Right? But you can always get better. Just keep working at it. So I do love that this like online money making culture is putting regular people who aren't models like me and probably like you. Unless you're the two women that I mentioned on this call tonight that I didn't name names. I almost just slipped and did it right there. But I love that normal people like us can now be in the spotlight and shine. And I urge you ladies, please shine. Like light the world up with your light, okay? You've got to shine bright. And don't let fear hold you back. You want to go on and claim your birthright. It's what you were put on this planet to do, okay? You should do that thing. It lights your soul on fire. It helps people. It's what you are here to do. The only way to get to the other side, to that life that you want, is through the fear. So I know it's super scary. If you need a friend to like and vent to before you do the scary thing, I'm here for you. We can message back and forth. We can hop on a call real quick. But when you're done being freaked out, you're going to jump. You're going to take the plunge. You're going to dive and do the thing. Because I promise you, the more you do it, the less scary it is, and it will get better, and you will get better, and before you know it, that version of you that's like, will be a distant memory, okay? I would love to hear from you ladies in the comments. How many of you have issues with this fear, like stopping you, standing in your way? Could even be imposter syndrome. Are you letting fear and imposter syndrome stop you from having the life that you want, from getting started doing the things that you know that you were meant to do in this life? I would love to hear. So please, in the comments below, let us know. But all right, ladies, that's all I had for this week's training. If you would like some more information about how I can help take you from where you are to where you want to be, let's get on a call. Really like working with women who are very motivated to get started bringing in more money. And I want to help them more. Women who legit want to bring in more money for themselves. They are motivated, they're dedicated, they're going to make it happen. They just might need a little bit of help getting started. So I'm here for you if that's you. Let's get on a call. Like, I want to help you. I want you to succeed. I want you to have the confidence that you're doing the damn thing and you are like rocking it. I really want that for you because I feel like women should lift up other women, and I'm all about that, like fiercely about that. And so I really want to help all of you. Legit just want to help you. So Please, if you are like, that's me, I want some help, let's hook up. Let's have a call so I can help you get on your way. Because why waste another day sitting around not doing the things that you're scared of so that you can have a different life, right? Okay, I am here to help you, to be a sounding board, bounce ideas off me. I can help guide you in the right direction. We can talk about what you have been looking into, and I can help let you know, like, what are the good and the bad things about all of that stuff. Like, all of the things that you would want to talk to if you had a friend who was a financial person. That's me. I'm here. And I would love to talk more with you and figure out what it is that you need to get yourself on the glide path to the life that you want, okay? I hope the rest of your weeks absolutely rock. Thank you so much, ladies.